Lauer in the new Ronan Farrow book, Catch and Kill. A former colleague claims he violently sexually assaulted her in 2014 when the Today Show was on location at the Sochi Olympics. Now, the woman came forward to NBC about this in 2017, which led to Lauer's firing the next day. Is this still, I mean, this is the never-ending story. Mm-hmm. This story has more legs, and it just when you think it can't get any uglier, it just, new allegations.
They did fire him, but the new allegation is quite upsetting.
That's what happens when you try and cover things up, and when more people should have been fired that were not.
Oh, well,
I still think that more people should have been let go during that time. And I say this as someone that used to work at Fox. Megan and I went through this together. And I watched the Today Show clip this morning of Savannah Guthrie and Hoda. Very emotionally, it was very raw to watch. Talk about the person that they have loved for many years, the person that they've known. And it was a side they hadn't seen. And they had to open up to their audience about what they're going through internally there. And as women, it's tough. And I give them kudos for having to be so real.
Who's the person they love, Matt Lauer, or they victim?
Yeah.
Oh.
They've been friends. They've been close for many, many years.
I just think, you know, for those of you that don't know, I mean, Variety is saying that he raped someone. That's the new reporting. It's an allegation of rape. And it takes a very brave woman, because rape is the most underreported crime in our country. Mm-hmm. And it takes a very brave woman.
Why is it?
It's because people don't believe that they will be believed.
And they'll be re-victimized on the stand.
Exactly. And also that they will be vilified amongst their peers.
Yeah.
And this woman apparently reported it to Andy Lack, who headed NBC News, allegedly reported it to Noah Oppenheim, who was head of the investigative unit, and somehow it leaked out that she reported it.
Are they still working there?
They are still working there. Mm-hmm. Now, if it is true that she reported to her superiors this terrible, terrible allegation, I don't understand why they didn't protect her. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why they did not report a crime, and I don't understand why they're still working there. It doesn't make any sense.
They felt that firing him was enough.
Firing him was, they felt was their...
But they didn't protect her.
Well, you know, let's not talk about protection, because there's very little protection for women out here at all.
That's true.
Because if you report something and someone says, okay, I believe it, as we saw in the 70s, we had a little incident here in New York where the girl came and said, you know, this is what happened. These men raped me. They brutally did stuff to me and whatever. And it turned out not to be true. So then you have someone come out who says, this is what happened to me. And you say, okay, I'm not going to believe you. And then it turns out that it is true. So I think we're all trying to figure out
what the truth is.
What the way to handle this is. Because you don't want to be seen as someone who doesn't care about victims, because that's not the truth.
Yeah.
But you also want to make sure that the right people go to jail.
And that there's an investigation.
Well, it would be nice.
But I'm sorry, I was done with Matt Lauer after Ann Curry. I thought he was a jerk after the way he treated her. I thought from that point on, there should have been ramifications for his job.
But
and by the way,
go to jail for that.
no, but I was done with him as a woman. The way he treated her, I'm never going to forgive it. I love Ann Curry, and I write so hard for you. Please come back to TV. And I will say, Ronan Farrow is one of the best journalists working of all time.
Yeah.
He is I thank God for him and the work he's doing. I believe his reporting. I do.
Yeah.
It may not be Ronan's issue. The issue is you want to make sure that the person you're hearing, where you're not wondering because of your past experience. So I think that's why the question you asked was, why is it so hard for people? And I think the answer is because people are just not sure. We've had so many that were not true and many more that were, and I think people are just sort of trying to figure it out.
But if you're a management position, I think, and tell me if I'm interpreting what you're saying wrong. If you're a management position at NBC and someone says, Matt Lauer raped me, and you don't do anything, to Abby and Sonny's point...
A crime has been reported.
I'm sorry, but like...
You misunderstand what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm answering Joy's question.
It must be investigated. I thought your question, I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, I'm not
why don't
clearly
women come
understanding
forward more?
Yes. What? Why aren't they?
Well,
no,
well,
she
they
said, why aren't
are
they
more
believed?
now.
Why don't they come forward?
Why don't
more?
they-
Here's
And
what
you
I would
said,
say, though.
No.
I don't think the
I know the
lights
answer. It was a
at the
rhetorical
Fox News
question.
building would still be on if it weren't for the women that kept that
Yeah.
place going. And that story has not been told by anybody.
Yeah.
Because the media is always about trying to find scandal. They're trying to pit people against each other. They're trying to find just bad news everywhere. And the story that still hasn't been written well enough about Fox. And that's when Meg and I became very good friends. When we were going through this together, are the women there that kept it going, that were shocked by everything that we heard, everything that
That's
we
why
had
Gretchen
seen.
Carlson was a hero.
Right.
Yeah.
But you
blew
know
the
what?
whistle.
I don't
She's
think
not
we,
the only one,
I don't
though.
think
Well,
we talked
she's one of
enough
them.
about
Yes, she is, but she's not
Fox
the
in
only
particular about how it's still doing so
The
well. It's
issue
not
is-
the men
No,
there.
but-
It's not
but
the
wait
men
a
at
second.
Fox.
I have another question. So, in other words, they believe her at some point, and they fire Matt, right
Yes.
back to Matt Lauer. And so, how long did they know that?
No, but
It's unclear.
What
It's
I will
unclear for the-
say,
for
to
the
my
reporting.
knowledge, and again, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't know your stories well enough, it was a very unique situation to be hosts on a channel during the time of Fox's sex scandals with Roger Ailes. And it is one of the things, Abby and I were always friends, but how we originally truly bonded was in that moment. Because when you're a woman in the foxhole, specifically for me, a hyper-conservative one, and the media is out after you, I do think women in these buildings and in these news networks deserve a hell of a lot more credit than they're getting, and I agree with Abby
Yeah,
on
and
that.
that story, I'm sorry, but spend a little time writing that story because I think that's empowering for people to read.
And NBC News issued the following statement. Matt Lauer's conduct was appalling, horrific, and reprehensible, as we said at the time. That's why he was fired within 24 hours of us learning of the complaint. Our hearts break again for our colleague.
So they're saying they didn't
Our
know it
hearts
before.
break again?
They're saying they didn't know.
I don't believe
Also, Matt Lauer has denied the allegations, saying the accusation is categorically false, ignores the facts, and defies common sense, calling the encounter a consensual extramarital affair. Lauer disputes having control over her career, saying she did not work for me, The Today Show, or NBC News. And there's actually a full letter provided to Variety through his lawyer that people should read.
Maybe people shouldn't be having extramarital affairs and this kind of
I'm
stuff
sorry,
won't
can you say
happen.
that again?
Even without that, it
You
happened.
know? I mean,
There is that.
there is that.